I think of this like, there's not much more spiritual than having a child, like a spiritual experience than having a child.
I was going to bring this up, funny enough. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you look at your child, and when your child is born, and if you haven't had a child out there, go with me on this, trust me, right? You look at your child. Well, when your child is born, is that child enough? And there are two answers. Of course, it's my child. They're enough. They're perfect as they are. They're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. In fact, they are the definition of value and enough, right? It like hits you on the deepest level. And then there's another instinct you have. This child is not enough. The world is big and I have to prepare them for the world. They are not ready. It's time to train my child because they are not enough to survive this world. And at least one thing as a parent that I realized is that loving your child is holding both of those things at the same time.
Yeah.
Is that, of course, my child is enough. Of course, any child is enough. Of course, any person is enough. But at the same time, we're always not enough too. But the not enough part is an external world conversation.
Right.
There's something that you want to do that you're not enough for.
Right.
I tend to look at how mothers and fathers divide how they approach their children, right? Mostly they're the same, but I do see a pattern when I talk to mothers and fathers. I see mothers tend to lean toward unconditional love. Whatever my child does, you're my baby.
Right.
And I just love you no matter what you do and what you are. And that tends to be the mother instinct tends to lean that direction. And the father instinct tends to be like, you got to do this, this, and this, or you're not going to cut it, kid.
Right.
Right. Because it's a harsh world out there. Right. And that.
It's a different form of love. That's all it is, right? Yeah.
That's exactly the point. That love is unconditional love plus conditional love wrapped, or it's maybe better said that ties into what we said a minute ago. It's conditional love wrapped in unconditional love.
Yeah.
Surrounded by unconditional love.
Right.
And I think it's the same in just in life in general. I just think that's a metaphor for the truest nature of life. Is of course we're thrown into a conditional world where your actions matter. At least it matters to others, and consequences will be suffered from your abilities and your actions and your choices. But beyond all of that, around all of that, larger than all of that,
right,
is your unconditional value that you have no choice but to have. Like
it's
you
so
cannot
beautiful.
Escape your unconditional value. Yeah.
But as you pointed out already, this is such a key point. I love where this conversation is going and where it is actually. We are always typically focusing on the conditional part. We're always looking at the conditional love part of life. And that all works on that level. Like if you get the cookie, if you're a good enough boy and you get the cookie, it feels good. And for a moment you feel the love of the cookie, you know what I mean? But then it goes, and then you're left, and then you're chasing chocolate chip cookies all your life, right? Whether it's the job, whether it's, you understand what I'm trying to say? But meanwhile, we're never looking at the fact that we are just immersed in some form of unconditional love just by one, that we exist, as you really clearly pointed out, especially when you do juxtapose that with the baby. We were all babies at one point, we all still have that intrinsic value.
You're still that baby.
We're still that baby.
You're still that baby who no one would deny.
Pure.
Has preciousness and value.
Precious, yes. And you don't need to do anything to earn that.